All right, so finding slope given an equation. When we kind of started this talking about slope and all this stuff again, and I had asked you guys what the equation for slope was, a lot of times people think that the equation for slope is this, y equals mx plus b. That's not quite the equation for slope. We know it now, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. That's how I calculate slope if I'm given 2 points. So what is this thing, right? I know you know it, y equals mx plus b. It sticks in your head. It'll be in your brain forever, right? What is this? This is the equation of a line in slope-intercept form. Okay, so slope is part of this, but this isn't the formula for slope. Okay, this is an equation of a line, so it's a little bit different. This is, that number right there is the slope. But then you also have other things in this. B is going to be your y-intercept. Hence why this is called the slope-intercept form, because those are the two bits of information that you're given when you have an equation written like this. So this whole thing is called slope-intercept form. And we love slope-intercept form, especially if I'm trying to graph a line. If it's written in this form, it's so easy. We start here and then we follow the slope. I'm sure you remember doing that quite a bit last semester. Start at B, follow the slope, connect your dots, and you're done, right? So that was really convenient. Today, all we want to do is, if I have an equation, I just want to be able to tell what the slope is of that line, okay? I'm not given 2 points. I'm not given the graph. Now, it's really easy if I do have an equation that's written like this, because I literally just have to figure out what that number is, and I'm done. So if I just give you y equals 2x plus 7, well, I just look at the number in front of the x, and I'm done. I know my slope is 2. That's it. Things get a little bit trickier when it's not written in this form, though. Okay, so that's kind of what we're going to look at today. So we'll start off easy, and then we'll add on layers and layers as we go. Okay, so I'm going to give you your overall instructions, how to do it, and then we'll just practice all the different types. Okay, so how to find slope from an equation. The very first thing you're going to want to do is to get your equation in this form if it's not already. Okay, that is the very first thing I'm going to want to do. So I'll give you a minute to get that. So I want it to look like y equals mx plus b, because once it does, oh, my life is so easy. Okay, so that's step one. And sometimes step one will already be done for you. Sometimes you get lucky and it's already in that form. But even if you have to do out the work, okay, it's no big deal, because once you get it there, now you can just see that the slope is the, does anybody remember the vocab word for a number in front of a variable? Do you remember what we call that? It has a special name. What do you call a number in front of a variable? Oh, yes, coefficient. I got it in the chat. Coefficient. So the slope is the coefficient of the x. That's it. That's all you're looking for. All I need is the number in front of the x. Let me just remind you that slope, guys, is just a number. You don't say, like if I had y equals 2x plus 7, you don't say 2x. It's just 2. It's just the number in front of the x. You don't include the x with it. You just say the number. Okay, think about all the times that we've been finding the slope, right? Doing y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Did you ever throw an x onto the number? No. Right? It's just a number. It could be a fraction. It could be a whole number. It could be negative. Who cares? It's just a number, though. The only other time that there's sort of a little weird thing happening is if it is one of the horizontal or vertical lines. So I'm just going to add this. If you only have an x or a y, so you don't have both, in an equation. So if you only have x or you only have y, that means you can't get this into slope-intercept form. How are you going to make it look like y equals mx plus b when you don't have both an x and a y, right? So what does that mean if you only have x or you only have y? That is your Hoy-Vux red flag, okay? This is a Hoy-Vux situation. And that's how you know if you only have one variable, but not both. Okay, I'll draw you our red flag. There's my flagpole. Oh my gosh. Hold on. There's my flag. Oh, I was thinking I could like shade this in, but it's probably not going to work very well. Oh yeah, that totally messed it up. I'll write Hoy-Vux on top. Maybe that'll work. So here's my big red flag. If you only see an X or a Y. Can I write on top? Oh yeah, that kind of works. I feel a craft coming on. I feel like I should make a red Hoy-Vux flag. Oh, I'm tempted. I have a sewing machine. I can do like, I'm not very good though. I can just do basic things. Like I can make like a pillowcase or something. But so surely I can make a flag. And I have an embroidery machine. Do I embroider Hoy-Vux on a red flag? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. Should I put it on Etsy? Would people buy them? Oh, there's my ticket to retirement. I'll make these for all the other math teachers in the world. But you know what? I'm telling you, not everybody knows about Hoy-Vux. Because I didn't. Maybe that'll be like my, oh, see, now it's all getting messed up. I don't know. Any hoosers, where am I? Oh yeah, I'm going to ask you about a whole bunch. So we're going to start off easy. I'm going to ask you to find the slope of just some nice easy ones. What's the slope? Okay, we'll start off real easy. All right, so here are 6 examples As I've said, we're starting off easy and then we're going to work our way up. These, if I go through the steps up above, how to find slope from an equation. Step 1, get the equation in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. Guess what? Every single one of these already is in y equals mx plus b. So I don't even have to do the first step for any of these. It's already done for me. So awesome. So I get to move right on to step 2. Step 2 says the slope is just the coefficient of the x. So literally all I'm looking for is the number in front of the x. So these should be super easy. Let me grab my popsicle sticks here. So number 1, what would the slope of that thing be, Katrin? 2, yeah, it's just the number in front of the x. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Kaya, number 2, what would the slope be?
6.
You're almost right. Negative 6. Yeah, negative 6. You're going to keep the sign, whatever it is, you just leave it. What are you going to say about 3, though? Sophia, what do you say about 3?
I said 1.
You're right. Remember, if there's no number written in front of the x, there's always an imaginary 1 that we just don't write. So that is a 1. You are correct there. Number 4, what is that, John? Can you see it? Let me zoom in a bit. What would your slope be on number 4, John? So you're just going to give me that number in front of the x there.
Oh,
2/3, yes. All right, 2/3. And how about number 5 here? What's the slope on that one, Molly B? -1. And then the last one, don't get thrown off by this. You do the same thing. What's the slope on that one? Riley, what do you say here?
It would be 7. No, 0.7.
0.7, that's it. Whatever that number is in front of the x, that's it. Notice, guys, I don't have an x on any of my slopes because x does not have an x on it. It's just a number. I don't know how that gets sort of muddled in, but kids always love to add an x onto their slope, but it doesn't belong there. Just a number, okay? Perfect. All right, so there's the easy level. Now we're going to step it up a notch. Okay, you ready? You ready? Let's get to stepping, shall we? I feel like, is that like a jazzercise saying? I don't know. Oh my gosh. All right, let's try these. I'm going to do a couple of these out with you. So still, I'm just going to find the slope. That's my direction for all of these. All right. So we'll do a few together, and then I'll give you some to try on your own, because these are going to be trickier. What if I gave you 2x plus y equals 3? We'll do another one that's 4x plus 8y equals 12. Not 12. Make that, sorry. Change that to a 16 if you don't mind. And let's do one more that's x minus 3 equals 2y, something like that, whatever. Okay, so let's just do each one of these together. So let's just focus on number 1 right now. All right, so listen, everybody. Step 1 said you have to make this thing look like y equals mx plus b. You don't know what the slope of this thing is right now. Unless you're doing that step in your head, right? If you are coming in here and you're just like, oh, the slope is just 2 because that's the number in front of the x, I'm telling you right now, you're going to get it wrong because that's not the answer here. What is? Well, let's make this thing look like y equals mx plus b. Okay, how do we do that? I'm sure you remember from last semester. I got to get the y by itself. So I'm going to subtract that 2x from both sides. If you had me last semester, I'm sure you remember me talking to you about taking this x term and you're going to shove it right after the equal sign. Remember? So we're going to take this and we're going to stick it right in there. Take it, put it, shove it right in there. So I put a negative 2x and then I put the plus 3 over on the side. You remember doing that? Okay, and now this thing is in y equals mx plus b form, isn't it? Now I can look at this and I know what the slope is very easily now because now step 1 is done. So step 2 says now just look in front of the x. So, okay, now I have my answer. It's just negative 2. If you had come in the beginning and said positive 2, you would have gotten this one wrong. Okay, let's look at the second one. Don't come in here and tell me that the slope is 4. It's not, because this is not in y equals mx plus b form. So you can't do that. You have to do this step. And I'm going to let you guys learn from B and C blocks mistakes. You can't do this in your head. You have to write these down. Okay? Please. It is so easy to drop a negative or divide the wrong way or whatever. Take the 15 seconds and write it down. Okay? Please. So let's do this one together. I need to get the y by itself, right? So similarly, I need to get this over to the other side. Let's minus that 4x. Minus 4x. So what happens? I get 8y. You're going to take this and you're going to stick it, right? So I have negative 4x, and then I put that plus 16 on the side. But I'm not done yet, right? I still don't have y all by itself. What do I do now? Can anybody tell me? What am I supposed to do from here?
Divide 8 by everything.
Yes, thank you. I got to divide everybody by 8. Now I get y by itself. And be careful. Can anybody tell me this chunk right here, this negative 4x over 8, how do you rewrite that? What's this going to become down here? Anybody remember what to do here? We kind of want to write it a certain way.
It becomes negative 1/2 x.
Yes. So we always want some number times x. So I'm going to write that number. So I kind of just look at negative 4/8. If I reduce that fraction, that just becomes negative 1/2. And then I always put the x over to the side. So even if the x is in the numerator here, when we rewrite it, we just stick it over to the side. Okay? And then I just have 16 over 8 is just 2. So now it's very easy to look at this and tell what my slope is. It's just the number in front of the x. So now I see, oh, the slope is just negative 1/2. Do you see how wrong you were if you came in and had told me in the beginning that the slope was 4? No, it's not. It's not even close. It's negative 1/2. Please do not try and do all of this in your head. I'm telling you, it's not worth it. Yes, you might get through the assignment very quickly, but what's the point if you get a 30 on it? Right? Nobody wants that. All right, let's try this last one. Okay, this one, I want to get the y by itself. It kind of almost already is. But one thing I already don't like, do you see how the y is on the right-hand side? I can't stand that, right? We're so used to having y on the left. So for me personally, I'm going to flap them. Can't I take a whole equation and just flip them around? You can do that. That's the symmetric property. That's what lets you take x equals 5 and flip it over to be 5 equals x. It's the same thing. As long as you don't change anything and you just literally flip them, you can totally do this. So watch. I'm just going to flop it over. I'm going to make it 2y equals x minus 3. Now I have y on the left, which is what I want. That's much better. I'm feeling better about this whole thing. Now I'm so much closer to getting y all by itself. I would just have to come in and divide by 2, right? So let's just sneak in here, divide everybody by a 2. How do I write this chunk, though? What's it going to look like here? Can everybody tell me? Oh, say that again. I'm sorry.
1/2 x.
Yes, 1/2, and then I put the x on the side. Perfect. And now this one, I'm just going to leave it as -3/2. For our purposes today, I actually don't even really care about the y-intercept because all I'm looking for today is the slope. So I don't even really care about this number. I care about this number. So now I can see, ooh, my slope is just 1/2. How funny that in all 3 of these examples, the slopes are semi-related. But that's just coincidence. All right. Now, let me give you 3 to try that I don't walk you through. Okay. Let's see here. All right. Let's do... All right, try these 3, everybody, 4, 5, and 6. I'll leave the 1, 2, and 3 up on the screen so you can look back at them as an example if you need it. So you're going to need to get each of these into y = mx + b form first, and then tell me what the slope is. These were the ones, by the way, that I think most of the students had trouble with, were the ones like this. So slow down, take your time, write these out. Do not try and do them all in your head. I'm telling you, it is too easy to drop a negative, divide the wrong way, etc., etc. And then I can't even help you because then I don't know what you did. You don't know what you did because you don't remember. So if you're going to do it, you might as well do it right. Right? Right. Okay, so let's see if we can work our way through number 4. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. Okay, so who can tell me what my first step is in number 4? Where do I even start? Just call it out.
Plus 3x will be -2y = -3x + 6.
Yes, I got to minus that 3x to the other side. Perfect. So I minus 3x from both. Those are gone. So yes, on the left, you have -2y. And then you're going to take that -3x and you're going to stick it right after the equal sign. And then you pop that +6 over to the right. Perfect. Okay, let me zoom in a little bit more. All right, and now I'm actually really close to having y all by itself. All I have to do now is what? What's my next step?
Divide -2 from
You got it. I have to divide everybody by -2. Now, be careful right here. So everybody take a look. See this fraction right here? You have -3 over -2. If you have a negative over a negative, isn't that just positive? Right? Negative divided by a negative is a positive. And then you can't simplify 3/2. So this actually just becomes 3/2. And then I put the x on the side. So that's it. The negatives cancel. And I leave it as 3/2. And then over here, I don't even care about this number, but of course I'm going to do it. There it is. So, but that's not my answer. My answer is what? What is the slope?
Three, two.
Yes, 3/2. Right? Because that's my goal. I'm trying to figure out what that slope is. And it's always just that number in front of the x once I get it written in this form. Perfect. So check your work. Hopefully you got 3/2 for that one. Let's try number 5. So this one, I want to get that y by itself. What do I do first? Anybody, tell me what my first step is on number 5. Yes, subtract 4 from both sides. Perfect. So that's -4, -4. Now, take a look at this one. The 4s are gone. I have -y on the left. I want the x to be right after the equal sign. So I'm going to leave the x there, and then I put the -4 over here. Right? I only stick it if it's the x term, but the x term was already next to the equal sign, so let's just put the -4 over on the side. I'm not done yet, though. Don't fall into this trap because it says -y, and I need positive y. So how am I going to get that? What do you do from here? Anybody? If I have -y, how am I going to get positive y?
divided by -1.
Thank you. See, if I just leave an awkward silence for long enough, someone will feel obligated to answer me, right? Thank you. Yes, I just divide everybody by a -1. So let's see what we got. Now I have a positive y. Now remember, there's that invisible 1 right there. So 1 divided by -1, I just get -1x. But I don't have to write the 1. -4 over -1 is now +4. Great. So I did all that, and now all I have to do is tell what the slope is. So what's my slope in this one?
-x.
Oh, you're close. It's just a number, though.
It's
-1. Yes, just -1. Perfect. Okay, last one of these. Let's look over here. All right, I want to get y by itself, so what am I going to do first this time? Anybody?
Would you add x?
Yes, you're going to add x to both sides. So now you've got 5y. I always want that x term right after the equal sign, so I got to stick it. X, and then I'll put the +10 on the side. Great. Now I'm almost there. All I got to do is?
Divide 5 with each one.
Yes, I divide everybody by 5. How do I write this? What is this? How am I going to write that down here? That chunk right there. How does that get rewritten?
1/5 x.
Yes, 1/5, and then I put the x on the side. And then 10 divided by 5 is just 2. And now I know the slope is just
1/5.
1/5. Sorry, I got a little loud. I got excited. 1/5. That's it. Yes. Okay. The only other snag that I'm going to throw at you is this. What do you do? What do you do for something like this?
Right.
Tears of joy? Sure. Because you are actually, if you take a look at this and you realize, hey, wait a minute, I can't put this in y equals mx plus b form. There's no y. So if you recall, back in our notes on the previous page, I put a big star and I said, what did I say? I don't remember. I said, if you only have an x or a y, so you don't have both in an equation, this is a Hoy-Vux situation. Oh, so if I'm looking at this and I don't have an x and a y, like I did on all the other problems had x's and y's in them. This doesn't. This only has an x. So if I'm missing one of the variables, that's how I know I got to go to this. This is my red flag. Now, this isn't my answer, though, right? The answer is never Hoy-Vux. The Hoy-Vux is a tool to get you to the answer. How do I get it? Well, it's the x. I have x. So I come here. The slope would just be undefined. That's it. That's all I have to do. You literally don't have to do any math for these. So they are kind of a gift. If you know how to use Hoy-Vux, you know how to get the answer kind of really easily. So my slope here would just be U stands for undefined. Okay. Ms. Sabia, give us another one. Okay. Let's try this one. Sometimes it looks just as simple as this, y equals 7, right? So if you're looking at this, you can't get this into slope-intercept form. You can't get it into y equals mx plus b. There's no x. So if you only have an x or only have a y, that's your red flag. That's a Hoy-Vux situation. So now you're like, okay, well, which one is it? Oh, I have y. Y, my slope is 0. That's it. Oh my gosh. Mrs. Sabia, you mean to tell me it can be this easy? Oh, I'm telling you, it can be this easy. Let's see if I can, I'm going to squeeze one more in on this page here. Number 9, let's do, what if I gave you -3 minus y equals 7? Something like that. Someone tell me, what's my slope on this one? Well, you're close. I heard y. It's not y, but what's the slope that goes with y?
0 slope.
Yes, the slope would be 0. So again, this is not, I can't do y equals mx plus b because there's no x. So that's how I know, oh, I got to do Hoy-Vux, right? What do I have? I have y. So that means my slope is 0. So that's my answer. And I'm done. Oh my gosh. Yes. Does this feel okay-ish? All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I am going to stop the video here because I think we're done with that.